What's going on, you guys and girls? YouTube says there are a couple of you out there watching, so thank you. Probably just my kids, friends, my wife, cousins, probably just family members. Either way, appreciate the support. But all right, last video was a really exciting video for me. Finally got to take this truck out on its first test drive after we started building, or after I started this build roughly 6 months ago. And you got to really split that in half, right? Because 6 months ago, I started this build. I'm home. I spend 8 days a month. So 8 times 6, we got 6, 12, 18, 30. Less 3 months of full total build time on this truck. Granted, I already had the engine built. I built that about 1.5 years ago, and it's been sitting in the corner. Some of you have seen it in a corner over there, underneath that bench where that big block now sits. It's been moved around, but I did build that about last year, and I have been stockpiling little parts here and there for this truck, anticipating this whole build. So, but we started it roughly 6 months ago. Finally got to take it on its first test drive. And even though it was a 14-mile drive, 14 and a half, everything seemed really good with the truck. Engine runs nice and smooth. Transmission shifted great, nice and crisp. Torque converter worked, or lockup worked. Brakes worked. Didn't have really any major issues with the truck. So that was awesome that I was able to get the test drive, even though I screwed up prior to that drive. You guys watch that video, you remember me saying that I unplugged the battery before the Phytech system was done saving, and kind of put myself in a whole world of hurt. Had to spend a few hours on the phone, but the Phytech tech support was awesome. Got everything sent to me, worked with me for a couple hours, finally, and got the truck up and running so we could do that drive. So I am very, very thankful that they spent the time to do that. Awesome, right? And I have to do, I feel the need to do this again because, let me show you guys. So for those of you that are new, here is the setup of my truck, right? That is just a junkyard 5.3, but it is topped off with the Phytech Ultimate LS system. And that thing just looks awesome. It really, really sets it off. I was going to run this thing here. This is what I had set up for the truck. But I mean, it's ugly. I was going to make some weird little panel for it to kind of hide some of that, maybe shave it like a lot of guys do on the internet and stuff. You still can make really, really good power with that intake manifold, but it's just ugly, right? So I had to figure something out. I know a lot of guys, they make shields for that, and you can make them look really cool, paint them, hydro dip them, stuff like that. But I have to thank Tony from Phytech and Amp Engines in Las Vegas. Also have to thank Mike at Phytech, because they're the ones that hooked me up with this system. And it's really, really neat. It's what helped me really motivate this whole, or kickstart this whole truck build, because granted, I have never met any one of them in life at all. For Tony to take the time to message me and say, I want to hook you up, I want to help you out, especially he's seen one of my first videos of me saying this was my first LS engine, and he just reached out and said, I want to hook you up. And I think about it every time I pop the hood. It's just really cool. It is, and it's awesome. And I'm excited to take this out on Power Tour here in a few weeks, just so I can show it off. Anyway, I am very, very thankful. So again, Tony, Mike, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. You have no idea what you've done for the build of this truck. So I just felt like I had to say that again. But let's get back to the truck. So we took it on a drive, right? And I do, if you guys remember, I do maybe mentioning, I still have to get the front end aligned. And I don't know if you noticed, but there's the front bumper. I got to get the front bumper on the truck. And in order for me to do that, well, I had to pull the grill and everything back out of it. For those of you who are new, you remember this core support is the original core support, but when I first took this truck apart, the original headlights had a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch spacer here to push it out, because all of this was pushed back. You can see here, this is cut out. This is not something I did. This is something that someone else did. But I used a porta power, block of wood, and a hammer. I was able to push all of the core support back out, straighten most of that frame rail, because if you guys remember, or those of you that are new or haven't seen it, this was down and in. So, and that actually caused them to take this bracket, which is a factory bracket, but somebody's cut it, bent it. They had a weird arm sticking off here to help line that up. So that core support bumper, nothing lined up on the driver's side. And I have been able to push a lot of it back out. But I have not test fitted the bumper yet, so it might bite me here. Also, I got these, another thing I did off camera is I got these LEDs wired up. Now, none of the factory wiring is in the underneath the dash of this truck. The only thing I used, these are the factory harnesses off the factory bulkhead. One comes up to the lights, another one goes back to the taillights, and then one jumps over to the starter. But the one that comes up front has this guy here. Now, this is part of the factory harness that I just put new plugs on. But this plugged into the original wiper, the washer squirter, a wiper squirter motor for the washer tank. And I just moved the wire inside to our Kubota switch, and then made this harness using some of these wires that came off the headlights. Just trimmed them back, cut them, spliced, soldered, heat shrinked them into a couple of wires here. You can see the loom I have over that with some heat shrink securing the loom. Let's see if we can get in here, but you can see just kind of shorten the ones off the headlights, put some plugs here. That way lights can come in and out without me having to cut, twisty tie, electrical tape, anything like that. So that's how that's set up. You come into the side here. So here is our Kubota switch. See, it's off. Go ahead and turn the running lights on or park. So now you can see the LED is on along with our turn signal or our park lamps. And then if you come in here and just go one more to where the headlights are on, then you can see it shuts those LEDs off. So LEDs are only on when the park lamps are on, which is cool. I don't mind that. I might do something else later with it, but for right now, I'm totally cool with how that works. But we need to get this bumper on the truck. So here's what we've got. So here's the factory bumper that I had sitting over there underneath that truck for a long time. I just went ahead and did a couple coats of undercoating behind it there. Kind of help stop or encapsulate what little rust was there. Kind of clean it up, really. Other than the fact just to make it all uniform. Replace a couple of the bolts here for our little lower valance there. Want to try to keep that as part of the truck. I think it helps complete the look of these trucks. So try my best to keep that on there. I have to take it off. I have to take it off. Front of this truck is kind of lowered. So we'll go ahead and get you set up in the stand here. I've got the two main brackets already sitting in the frame rails. We'll go ahead and get the bumper set on there. Make sure everything lines up. If it lines up, I'll go ahead and tighten it up and then hit them with some undercoating. I anticipate the front of this truck coming apart a couple times. Its main purpose is to do drag and drive events. So I do anticipate me having to take this thing apart half a dozen times. But anyways, go ahead and get you guys set up in the stand. Get this bumper set up there, get it lined up, and then we can go ahead and put our grill back on. All right, bumper is installed on the truck. Actually aligns a lot better than I thought. I know I keep saying it, but this truck was hit in the driver front, and I reused the core support, right? We got new headlights. These are the old bumper brackets that were on this truck as well. And if you remember, the one bracket only had the one bolt in the top. It had an extension on the other one. So it didn't really quite line up the best when we tore this thing down. So considering all that, this actually lines up really, really well. And from about 30 feet away, you can't tell. But here's what we got. So there's our bumper. I know it's kind of hard to tell without a grill in it, but you can see here, it does kind of fit everything pretty square. Come over to the driver's side. Watch out for the old brackets. If you come over here to the driver's side here, you can see that gap is pretty good. Actually, might be a little tighter than factory, which is good. Then you come on over here to this passenger side. Get you back here. So you can see pretty close to the driver's side. Might still a little bit tighter than factory. There are some slight differences though, like this might be back just a little touch from the driver's side, because the driver's side was the side that was hit. The alignment from here to the driver's side, you can see might be about 1/8 of an inch different, but really for an old 93 pickup truck, it actually fits pretty good, and I'm happy. I've been messing with it for about an hour and a half, and that's where I was able to get it. I did not reuse the outside brackets. That one's just, they cut it and bent it and twisted it to fit something that was just bad. So not using it. You come out here anyways. This thing is, I mean, if you really jump on it, can't tell because I'm shaking the phone all over the place, but it is pretty solid. Next time I go to the junkyard, I'll try to find some better ones of those, and try to find a better driver's side main bumper bracket as well. That one is a little messed up, and it'd be easier for me to align everything if I had one that wasn't bent. So bumpers on, looks great. Also installed a little 94 to 98 filler panel. If you guys remember, 94 to 98, this one's different. You can see here the grill will actually slide into here and clip, and then in between that, this clip, these are just guides. So all the way down. Show you on our grill here. So this is where it slides into clip. Two guides sit right in between here. There's our other clip there. And our 93 and down grill does not actually have that. It does have a filler panel, but the filler panel attaches to the grill, which the grill attaches to our radiator support. We're on 94 and 98. The filler panel attaches to the radiator support, and then the grill attaches to the filler panel. So some slight differences. I also need to order these little filler pieces. Well, I wasn't thinking about it. So I won't have those right now, but I will order those in the future. So what I need to do is I need to get the grill installed. But before I do that, I kind of want to polish up our front bumper here. And I've spent probably about 10 minutes on it already. And I figured I'd show you guys what I use to polish up some old chrome that's been sitting outside. So for your reference, you can see the dirt and the junk that's been kind of built up on the bumper here. This is the driver's side. And then we can scan over here. You can see how shiny and clean this one is. The chrome is not perfect. If we can get in here, the chrome is kind of checked a little bit, and these are all little rust spots. But from 20 feet away, you can't see it. It actually looks really good. And I use this stuff right here. You get it at Lowe's, Home Depot. And you can get it at the auto parts store too. I just haven't paid attention, but grade 00. And it says here you can go double, triple, and quad. Quad is really, really fine, and that's like a really super, super polish. 00 I can use because it gets like all this buildup, kind of like sap stuff, bug guts, all that junk off your bumpers. and really does help clean them up. See, here we go, bug guts. Get that off. Buildup of sap and all that other junk. Fine rust, or it doesn't really get off heavy rust because it is quad, but it will if you just spend a little bit of time. You can actually get these things cleaned up really good. So, and I'm just using Windex. You can use dish soap or plain water, really, if you wanted to. The important thing is you keep it wet. Kind of helps lubricate and allow to just kind of glide over your bumper. It just makes it easier. Use a nice little polish like that. Come out looking really good. I also, you grab another rag here. I also use it on glass, especially if your car is parked outside. You don't have a carport or anything like that. You park under a tree, right? Certain times of year, trees sap or pollen or a bunch of buildup. Even build up from road tar, stuff like that. Anyways, let's go over here to the Mustang. I'll show you. Like I said, we use it on glass. It's probably time I get that off too. It's been a while since this car's been on a track. So spray it with some Windex. You can get that off there. You can see. Just work it around. Cleans up good. Use a nice little paper towel. I like to use the blues because they don't leave lint. And now you can see how clean that glass is. Works really well. Don't use Scotch Brite. Don't use anything coarser than 00. Especially don't use it on paint. Don't use any of this on paint unless you've got one of those cars you're trying to perfect your patina. Don't do it. Okay, chrome and glass, not aluminum, unless you're unless you plan on going finer and finer to polish your aluminum. Then it's okay, but don't use that and expect it to come out a nice polish. You're gonna have like a satin aluminum if you're looking for polished, but that can be used as one of your stepping stones, right? Just 00, chrome, glass, Windex, soap. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and finish cleaning up this bumper really fast. We'll go ahead and snap that grill in. Kind of stand back, take a look at what we got, see how it looks with all of our with the front end put on the truck. I'm getting excited. We're getting close to taking this thing on a much longer test drive. I need to get this thing out and just kind of test it out. So we'll go ahead and finish polishing up our bumper, get that grill on real fast. So time lapse. All right, front end is back together on the truck. Bumper is all cleaned up, looks good. Grill's set in place, all our lights work. And that thing is just gonna look really cool going down the road. Looking forward to it, looking forward to getting that thing out there to see how it really does. Open it up, see how it does. But, so front end's all back together, looks great. One more thing I want to do before I kind of end this video here is this thing does not have an air filter on the front of that turbo. And the last thing I want to do is suck up a bunch of bugs, especially if I'm going to drive across states or a power tour. So here's what I've come up with. Now, some of you guys might recognize this filter, maybe part of this aluminum. This is one of those eBay kits you can buy for the like Suburbans or Silverado pickup trucks with the LS or for LS swaps. And they've got this really, really big filter. Now, I cut that 4-inch aluminum elbow up. And as you can see here, I have a hose clamp on there. It's because the bend in it isn't exactly round. So I just kind of cut our little pie cut here, use a hose clamp so I can squeeze it together. And that will help me. It helps line this up a lot better. But you can see what I got going on is I got this 4-inch silicone elbow. It goes right around the front of this turbo really nicely. We cut that there. And this big old filter is going to go right down in between the radiator support and our charge pipes and pull air from our grill here. So we'll have a nice big air filter element. Should do just fine. Looks like it should filter. I'll try to remember, put a link to this in the description if you guys are looking for something, even if you just want to use something like this for your pickup truck, you're doing an LS swap or whatever. It fits the drive-by cable throttle bodies really well. I just wasn't going to use it on that engine. I had it laying around, so I figured I'll repurpose it. So go ahead and get set up on the welder. We'll get this thing tack welded into all these little pieces, tack welded in place. Reinstall it on the truck, kind of see how it fits. And yeah, so get the welder set up, tack weld this thing together. Good morning. Yes, I said good morning because it is the next day. Little elbow, our little 90 for our air filter is all welded up. I actually have all that installed in the truck right now. Looks pretty good. Through the front of our grill, should get plenty of cool air from the outside up into there. Everything but rocks and bugs. See, our 90 is all welded up, comes up into our silicone 90. Now, I believe I did mention this 90 comes with this eBay kit. So it fit the front of this GT45 turbo really well. All these hose clamps came with it too. So, but she is all tightened up, snug, and ready to go. And yeah, I said good morning. It is the next day. I get sidetracked, right? I get pulled off little things. I'm trying to catch up on a bunch of little things that aren't necessarily take too long or too hard, really. It's just they're tedious. Like interior trim, I've been cleaning and painting all that, but before I can do that, I gotta like rerun little wires, fasteners, move things out of the way. So I've been doing that. Here's what the inside of our truck looks like so far. Door panels are all been cleaned and painted. Most of our dash pieces have been painted. These filler panels here for the A-pillars are been painted and installed. Both sides. Kick panels down here as well have been installed. That one is a little shy because it was cut for the first ECU or the first fuel injection system I had on this truck when the big block was in it. So I'll be looking for another one of those. I'll also be looking for a couple new armrests too for these door panels. This is how they were when I got the truck. So won't be installing those. Hopefully we'll be finding some new ones, or maybe just like roll up a shirt with some tape for right now. I don't know. Got that. Another thing I did too, if you guys remember, I installed that fuel cell in the back of the truck. Cut a hole or an access hole back here to put a trap door. So you can see I actually got that kind of mocked up and mounted. It's spaced off the bed right now to have this flange here flush with the top of the bed. I figured that would look a lot better than to have this sticking up. I can deal with these right here, and I'll just get some aluminum or something about this thickness or about this width, just a little bit thicker. And I'll make a bezel to go underneath all the way around to kind of close it off. Maybe put in a gasket or something in there. Also installed our little lock. So she is locked, ready to go. Pretty slick little thing, I think. I like it, like the way it's coming out. So, like I said, lots and lots of little things on this truck I've been doing. Still a lot of little things that need to be done. So, I'm going to try to check another one of those things off my list this morning. I'm going to go ahead and take this thing down to the alignment shop, see if I can't get it aligned, because you see the camber on that wheel there. And then we got the camber on this wheel here. She's a little stanced. Betty is looking a little silly with the way those wheels are poked, so I'm going to hop in the truck right now, take her down to the alignment shop, see if I can't get the front end of this thing aligned. Fingers crossed. Should be okay though. But get this thing warmed up and see if we can't get these wheels fixed. Shop a couple minutes ago. Truck seems to be doing pretty good so far. Here's a neat thing. I'm glad I wired in my wipers because it is sprinkling and I am getting to use them, so that's cool. Truck seems to be doing pretty good, driving pretty good. Transmission still seems to be shifting nice and firm. I've got now 31 miles on the truck, so we've doubled it since the last time I drove it so far. Turbo sounds good. Let's see if we can get it to a spool up. Ooh. Yep, neat little turbo. Makes some neat noises. But it just keeps wanting to break that one wheel free. I will have to do a spool or something in this truck here in the future. Right now I'm just kind of focused. Oh, it took that real well. Nice. Like I said, just trying to focus to get this thing up, running, and driving so we can get on power tour. Trying to work out all the little bugs, but got a few more minutes before I get back to the shop. So just gonna kick back, have fun. See you guys at the shop. All right, made it back to the shop, and the truck drove absolutely amazing, nice and straight. Transmission seems like it's still doing pretty good. Engine seems like it's doing pretty good. Suspension up front seems like it's working. Seems to absorb a lot of the bigger bumps, or at least better than it did before we did the whole LS swap in this thing. Very happy I was able to wire up my windshield wipers and get those working. I did not expect it to rain today. It's still raining right now. But we made it back. Everything did really good. Here's one thing I want to show you. It is raining. You guys know I do not have any inner fenders in this thing, right? And all the paint work underneath this truck is done with spray paint and spray clear. Out of all the rattle can paint, rattle can clear. Probably 30, 60, maybe 150 bucks. Let's just round it. Let's say $200 of total paint work underneath the hood of this truck. And looks like it took it pretty well. considering it's throwing water and stuff here. I did wipe some of that off already, but you can see here all the little dirt and the mud that's up underneath the edge here. Go ahead and get some water. There we go. I'll just take it off the bumper here. Show you guys. We're gonna wipe it right now. Show you how durable it is. See if we can't bring back some of that rattle can shine. There you go. A lot of it came back. I don't really have to worry about it. Like I said, it is gonna get chipped, it is gonna get scratched, it's gonna get dirty, but it's gonna at least have a shine for a little while, right? This truck, really don't want to worry about the paint work underneath this thing. It's a fun truck. We're building it to do drag and drive events. I'm really looking forward to going on a hot rod power tour with this thing just to see how it does with the whole long trip thing. But it is raining. I do want to take this thing out on a longer test drive, but there are a couple little things I kind of want to go over first. Just kind of check the transmission fluid, check the oil, things like that. Make sure I got all the wiring up out of the way before I do that. But so I'm going to end this one right here, you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new, hit that subscribe button for me. Share with your friends. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Right? You got to... Or heck, even let me know what you're building. You can follow me on Instagram. It's the same ToyShopFab _ Johnny Biggs. Follow me there. Tag me in some of your builds. I'd like to see them. But anyways, you guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Get outside, work on your junk. And I'll catch you on the next one.